Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Very different thing today. Over the last few years I've been on several hunting trips with aim point all over Europe and Scandinavia, Italy, Bulgaria, all sorts of stuff. Had a great time. And on those trips I saw something that you might now have seen. It was in its development stages through those years. I mean, I think I first used it 5 years ago in Bulgaria, where GAIM were trying to develop the wild boar hunting simulator. Now, recently I have been in negotiation with GAIM, and I have been out and I've bought myself an Oculus MetaQuest 2 headset, and I've been currently using this with the normal hand controller you get with it. But I'll just pop that out of the way because I don't want that now, because I have received today from Sweden the stock. Now, the MetaQuest headset is very useful. It actually works really well with the hand controllers, but it's not quite as realistic and not quite as intuitive as having the actual stock unit. Now, I've used this at many shows, and it is really just put the headset on and off you go. It really is that easy to use. But now I've got the stock. I say I've got the stock. I haven't even opened it yet. It came about an hour ago while I was making another video. But I can set this up, and over the course of the next few months, maybe even years, I will be using this to make video. And we will be able to have video of me and several of my friends playing the game made by GAIM and using it to have a very, very enjoyable time. Now, essentially the game simulator uses one of the handsets, and I suspect this might be fairly intuitive, but I'll figure it out when I get the instruction book out. But that's probably going to fit somewhere in there. Thread it through, click the controls onto it, and then essentially you've effectively got a nice wooden gun stock. It's got the trigger incorporated into it, which fits up to the actual controller here, and you can just point and shoot and aim exactly like that. Because using it manually, you're kind of reaching in front of you like this, and it's a little bit artificial. Got an annoying wasp there. But with this control, I got bloody stung by one of these the other day. So with this, effectively, you've got the whole stock assembly. You'll still have the MetaQuest headset on, which gives you that full 3D environment. And believe me, I've hunted wild boar a few times now in reality. It is, I'm not going to say yes, it's like reality, and yes, you've no recoil, but in terms of the handling dynamics, the pointability of it, it is phenomenally good. You've got multiple quarry species, everything from foxes, fallow deer, you've got wild boar, you've got moose, you've got bears, all sorts of things. You can buy different programs through the package and set them up with it, update it along with the GAIM package to actually use, and it never really gives you the same situation twice. All the animals run in slightly different directions, different distances, different speeds, and it gives you an on-screen visual display of exactly where your bullet hit in real time. And if you get the kill, you get the kill. That's great. If you get the miss, you see it because the animal runs off and you get like a little ghost picture. But what you also get is afterwards you can have a whole replay of the actual total shooting time, and it will show you every single shot in detail in terms of the simulated distance the animal was at, exactly where you aimed, exactly how your rifle moved. It'll track your aim point precisely in terms of the relative positions to the animal. This wasp is going to get it in a minute. I don't know if that's on the simulator, but so in the replay, you get the full review of exactly where you were aiming, where you shot, where the bullet hit, where it did and where it didn't. It gives you the actual estimated distance that it was in reality would have been. And you know what? It's very, very, very enjoyable to play. I've never been a game player. I've never been a computer person or a PlayStation person, anything like that. I think since I was at university and I played GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, that was pretty much my whole career of gaming. But this, I've found quite addictive, and for the last week or so, yes, I've had it with the hand controller and it's been very good, but I've been itching to get this. So tonight I'm going to get it set up, get using it, and I'm going to start recording some footage, because you can record all your high scores, you can record every different hunt you do, you can set up various different game playing profiles. So if 2 or 3 of your friends come round on a Friday night for a game of it, whatever, you can each set up an individual profile, have some drinks, have some snacks, whatever, and you can go through as many of the hunting scenarios as you want and compete with each other to see who does best. Now, I can't tell you enough about the MetaQuest, because there are hundreds of videos on YouTube about it already, and I am still learning myself from them, because it's a learning process just setting up and using it. But I have to say, it's quite intuitive, and me, Mr. Not Particularly Techno, I'm learning everything. Me, I'm not Mr. Techno, but I am learning something every time I play it, and I am thoroughly enjoying it, because once that headset's on, and you can have a spare battery system for it as well, it does last for absolutely hours, and essentially you can set it up for people with glasses on or whatever like that. You can change it for different head sizes, you can change the straps on it, so it's, depending on how big your head is, you can make it fit exactly, and of course it just locks in position on the back of your head. I'll demonstrate now. Don't I look like Mr. Cool Techno here? This is interesting, I can't see my camera now, it's amazing. So that's how you do it, and then basically you've got that intuitive game control, but I can't see anything yet. I'm straight on that, and my gun mount's probably not bad on that already, because of course that is effectively pretty close to what you're doing normally, and that is, it's a real gun stock. It's made of timber. I'm not even sure what it is. It does actually look a little bit good for beach. It could be polymer with a coating on it, for all I know. But it's got a rubber recoil pad. It's very realistic, is it not? And with this, that'll clip in the end, and essentially there we go, we can go hunting. Right, I can't tell you all about everything to do with it now. You'll pick it up as I go along, but maybe every couple of weeks or something I'll put some of the hunting scenarios on it. You can see them, you can see me using them, and I will say this, it's a great learning tool, because when you're actually hunting for real, everybody thinks, wild boar fever. It's very like wild boar fever, because you don't generally get huge numbers of animals just tearing everywhere. Of course, it depends a little bit on the sort of amount you're paying for your hunt and things like that. But you've got the compromised choice between, do you take on the shots that are presented, or do you wait for easier shots? Because it's not like stalking where you can move in on things. You're in a fixed position. You have to wait for them to come past you, whichever it is. Is it the correct species? Is it the correct sex? Is it the correct age? And with wild boar and things like that, it's very difficult to know that at high speed. So when you combine all those things together, you've got to be really careful. So things like when you get a sounder coming through, you've got to shoot the piglets first, not the sow. You need to make sure you don't shoot sows that are above a certain weight on certain hunts. You need to be able to pick between a kyler and a sow that's on its own. You need to spot for those bigger teeth on the kyler. You need to see the difference in the shape of the animal, the genitals and things like that. And similarly, on the deer, you've got all that as well. Now, of course, antlers make it fairly obvious, but you can get antlerless bucks, or you can get some weird things that do have antlers. And believe me, some of the hunts have got some quite significant fines if you shoot the wrong thing. So, although it's not a super cheap system, I will give you exact prices in the description probably. I'll put you a link to the GAIM website. It could well be worth it, because I don't consider this a toy. I actually consider it a very good learning tool, because I am already looking at the fact that they program in the behaviour of the animals and the family groups and the way they work. So you develop an immediate affinity for picking things out. And like any game, like any learning system, it is not perfect. You are not absolutely guaranteed perfection and making sure you'll never ever make a mistake. But when you have got hundreds of shots over a couple of hours in the comfort of your own living room, you really do start to learn to pick and choose between the shots, because you know the ones that are just shots to nothing, you know the ones that are shots of virtual impossibility, you know the ones that are pretty much dialed in and easy, because you'll get pigs that will walk past you very close, you'll get deer that run past you 100 yards away at high speed. Would you take those on a real hunt? Well, I shot a pig in Italy at 14 metres virtually underneath my feet, and it was walking at about this speed. That was a pretty easy shot. Some of the shots, I remember taking a shot in Bulgaria, it was over 100 metres, and I didn't hit it with the first round, but I did put it down with the second one. And those are massively expensive learning experiences, and because the first time you do it, you just don't have that experience. You kind of dropped in at the deep end. And although there are ranges with moving targets are generally going one way, then they go the other, go one way, then they go the other, and they can vary the speed a little bit, and you can sometimes change the distance a bit, but you're not used to spending that time effectively standing in your high seat and just watching around. And you can spend 20-30 minutes. Each drive basically lasts for 30, you've got 30 rounds of ammunition, so you've got 30 shots. That's how long each drive lasts. So you can wait for the easy shots for a long time if you want to, or you can just take on any shot you want. And you'll also get mixed drives, mixed quarry species drives. So you'll get drives with boar, with deer, and then you've got the foxes. I have only so far hit one fox, because when the foxes come through, it's just like a silverfish going like that across the floor. Trying to get it is very difficult. I'm hoping with the stock it might become a little bit easier than just using the hand controller. But essentially, I'm not a gamer, but I absolutely love it. I was at the stalking show a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to the guys from GAIM, and I just, because they know me and I've met them on previous occasions, previous countries over previous years, and I've never really just thought I'm going to buy into this, because the Oculus headset is about £200, the extra battery is about 40. I went to Argos, I'm sure other shops are available, I think they're on Amazon Prime, things like that. The GAIM thing, the actual software you download as an app and it works through your phone, but once it's actually set up, you don't need your phone with the MetaQuest app running on it. And the stock and things come from Sweden, so you can order those in. And yes, I've had to pay a customs charge on it and things like that, but that's life. And because it's a fairly low volume market, and you can't expect to go into your local store and have 20 of these sat on a shelf waiting for you, because the shooting industry in itself in the UK is quite a small industry. But I've kind of lost my thread now. So essentially, I just gave in at the stalking show. I had a go on it. A couple of my mates were there, we were watching it, and you can stream it out as well. So whatever's going on in here, you can see instantly on a smartphone or a tablet, whichever the app's on, or you can stream it direct to certain TV types. I think it's Google Chrome or something like that. You can stream it directly to a TV, or you can stream it to a computer with a big screen, or a laptop perhaps, and plug it in with an HDMI lead into the TV. That's one of the things I've been doing with it. And it means that everybody's kind of involved and everybody's kind of watching, and do what you want for your social life. But I know there's a few of my friends who gather on a Friday night, and we have a sort of a private room at the pub, and I'm going to take this along because we all know we're going to eat pizza, play GAIM, and have some beers and have a laugh and give each other a load of grief over who's shooting the best, who's shooting the worst, who's getting better quicker, who's absolutely utterly useless. We shall see how we all get on. But I've had a few friends on already who've had a go with it, and yeah, I am. You can see it in my face. I am really excited that this is right, because I can use it to my heart's content now. So like and subscribe, comment on it, and make sure you click the notification bell, because as well as all my reviews and rifles and scopes and night vision and thermals and this and that, I'm going to be doing some stuff with this, and there'll be some simulated footage seen on screen. Now, I will put a little bit on the end of this video, but I will actually tell you, it's not brilliantly shooting, because using that, when you start off using that, it is quite difficult. It's a lot more difficult using that, because I've used this in the past at shows like EWA or British Shooting Show, where you've got this and you're straight at it. Using the actual handset, it's a little bit more difficult, but you can get used to it. That is almost utterly intuitive. That feels somewhat alien, especially to a non-gamer person like myself, or someone who's never used a MetaQuest type thing before. But setting that up's easy. You can change the lenses inside for your interpupillary distance, change the focal distance as well with the glasses spacer. So I'm really getting on well with it, and I'll tell you all about it as we go along, because at the minute I'm actually just generally quite excited, because I've been in all day. I've had guns coming in, guns going out. I've had all this, that and the other. I've had about 10 things to sort out today, and this is the last one to arrive. So there we go. Right, like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, stick with me and see the regular uploads. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.